During the filming of the chariot race in Ben-Hur, Charlton Heston's stunt double, Joe Knut, nearly flew out of the chariot when it unexpectedly jumped over a wrecked chariot. This accident was unplanned, but director William Wyler kept the shot in the movie. Additionally, at the end of the race, the crowd flooding into the arena was not scripted. The extras were just really excited and rushed in on their own. In the final shot of Barton Fink, the seagull diving into the water was unplanned. Also, the elephant defecating next to Ewan McGregor in Big Fish was absolutely not in the script.
You ever fired a gun before?
Sure, of course I have.
In West Side Story, when Riff buys the gun from a black market dealer, it was not scripted for him to press his forehead against the barrel. Mike Feist improvised this, and the production felt it perfectly fit Riff's character in this version. In Walk the Line, Joaquin Phoenix playing Johnny Cash rips a sink out of a wall while acting out a drug-affected scene. This sink rip wasn't in the script. In Tropic Thunder, the scene where Tug talks to a flying mantis and it flies into his face actually happened by accident.
You're beautiful.
In Glass Onion, during the climax, Peg breaks a glass wheel and looks shocked, staring directly into the camera. Jessica Henwick was only supposed to practice throwing the wheel since there was just one prop, but she accidentally dropped it for real. Fortunately, the camera was already rolling and captured the take.
Okay.
In Annie Hall, the scene where Alvy sneezes and blows away a box of his friend's cocaine was cut shorter because the audience's laughter made the rest of the dialogue inaudible. The sneeze was real and unrehearsed. The moment in American Hustle where Rosalind kisses Sidney was not in the script but came from Amy Adams. She explained that she got caught up in the emotions and intensity of the scene and decided to do it because it felt like it fit perfectly. The scene in The Addams Family where Wednesday Addams sleeps with her arms folded up on her chest like a corpse laid out for a funeral was ad-libbed by Christina Ricci, who was about 10 when the movie was filmed. In Austin Powers and Goldmember, Scott Evil's little dance at the very end, after gloating that he'll get Austin Powers, wasn't in the original script. Seth Green was just fooling around on set without realizing the camera was rolling. The directors found it hilarious and decided to leave it in the movie. In Fight Club, the scene where Tyler and the narrator hit golf balls into the train yard wasn't in the original script. The actors were actually drunk and trying to hit the catering trucks with golf balls. Director David Fincher decided to film it and include it in the movie. In Dune Part 2, when the Baron hands over control of Arrakis to Fade Routha, the kiss shared between the two was improvised by Austin Butler during filming. Consent issues aside, I thought it was a solid choice for the characters, and both actors played it perfectly. In American Graffiti, the opening scene where Terry crashes his moped into a garbage can was an accident but was left in. Similarly, the scene where a young Harrison Ford sings Some Enchanted Evening was improvised, as the script only said his character acts obnoxious.
You will see a stranger across a crowded room.
In Saltburn, the now famous grave scene where Oliver cries over Felix's grave and then strips down wasn't in the script but was improvised by Barry Keoghan. In Stir of Echoes, during the scene where Tom gets angry after digging in the backyard and kicks the bucket towards the wall, it wasn't supposed to hit and break the window. This happy accident was used in the film because Kevin Bacon stayed in character and continued the scene. The Witchfinder General's memorable ending was unscripted. Originally, the soldier was supposed to fatally shoot both Hopkins and Marshall, but it was realized at the last minute that an earlier scene had established he only had a single-shot pistol. As a result, the soldier only shot Hopkins, and Ian Ogilvy improvised Marshall's psychotic freakout.
You took it from me! You took it from me! You took it from me!
The scene in X-Men where a young boy smiles at Cyclops and he smiles back was unplanned. The boy was a huge X-Men fan, and Cyclops was his favorite. The scene originally called for Cyclops to look at the train schedule, but according to Bryan Singer, the boy could not stop smiling at James Marsden. Finally, during one shot, Marsden looked back at him and smiled, much to the boy's delight. In The Wind and the Lion, during one of Teddy Roosevelt's monologues, a horse lies down and rolls. The director mentioned in the commentary that most filmmakers would have reshot the scene, but he kept it for realism. In True Lies, Jamie Lee Curtis's slip and fall during the stripper dance wasn't scripted, and you can even see Arnold Schwarzenegger jumping out of the chair to see if she's all right. In Barbie, when Barbie arrives at Ken's house to ask him if she can still be his long-term distance, low-commitment, casual girlfriend, and Ken yells, "Sublime," the line was improvised by Ryan Gosling while filming.
Could you just hold on for 1 second?
Oh, okay. Sublime!
Margot Robbie said she wasn't prepared for it on the day and started laughing. The cat in the opening scene of The Godfather was not in the script. It was just a random stray cat that Marlon Brando had befriended, and he convinced Coppola to let him include it in the scene. In the movie Burnt, there's a well-known scene where Adam, at his lowest point, tries to suffocate himself with a sous vide bag to commit suicide. This moment was improvised by Bradley Cooper, who noticed the bag between takes and decided to use it for the scene.
Joe, we've got to have it out.
No,
I have loved you ever since I've known you, Joe. I couldn't help it.
In Little Women, when Laurie and Joe have their conversation on the hill, where Laurie continually interrupts her with, "I love you, Joe," all of those weren't in Greta Gerwig's original script, but were added by Timothée Chalamet while filming.
I'm homely and I'm awkward and I'm
love you,
odd,
Joe.
and you'd be ashamed of me.
I love you, Joe.
When you read the original script, you can see that Joe was simply meant to just say everything uninterrupted to Laurie after he confesses his love. But in the final cut, Laurie is consistently saying,
And
I
I'm
love you,
odd,
Joe.
and you'd be ashamed of me.
I love you, Joe.
In Star Wars The Force Awakens, there's a moment when Han Solo drops his jacket at the Starkiller base, and then Chewbacca hands it back to him, which confuses Han. This small but hilarious gesture was improvised by Joonas Suotamo, who plays Chewie. In the original Thor movie, Loki tries to step in between Odin and Thor only for Odin to just roar at him.
Father.
The roar was unscripted, genuinely scaring Tom Hiddleston.
Father.
In Bad Moms, the hilarious scene where Amy, Kiki, and Carla go into a grocery store and cause chaos was mainly unscripted, with the director simply letting Mila Kunis, Kristen Bell, and Kathryn Hahn do whatever they wanted.
Oh, I want to eat her face.